Hello. I was just wondering if I could borrow some milk.
What?
Thank you.
You've come far.
Not really. Your wife?
Anna, yes.
She's beautiful.
She was.
I'm sorry. She lived here with you?
Yes. And she hated me for it.
Why?
Who would want to live somewhere so isolated, she said. Do you not like people?
Sorry, but I have to agree. I thought the same when I came to this place.
Alla andra. Why are you here?
Carry on. She said you don't like people.
Yes.
And what did you say?
Something stupid, I expect. Your milk will be going off soon.
You're right. Thank you for the coffee. You're very kind. I suppose I should begin walking back soon. We'll only get colder, and I haven't brought a coat. It was wonderful to meet you, Anna. Goodbye. Goodbye, Peter. Thank you again.
Hallå, kom tillbaka! I'm going to need more milk soon.
Well, you're in a shortage of cows. I assume you sell the milk.
To whom?
I love fairy tales. Do you read these to your children? Winds get cold and winter don't they? A terrible time for a young girl to be left out in the snow.
I think you should leave now.
I can't leave. Not yet.
Well, if you're staying, I think we should change the subject.
Tell me how you ended up here.
My family have always been here. I was young. I wanted to escape. Somehow, I found myself longing to return. We tried for a child 6 times, but each one was lost before it had the chance to breathe the air. It nearly destroyed me. Anna was so strong. The 7th time, Lily was born.
In this part of the world, there's a lot of time for fairy tales.
My mother would read them to me as a child. I loved them. So I would read them to Lily. And she loved them too. But there was one story that always terrified me. So I would not read it. Not even to my own daughter. The story...
Draugen.
Draugen. The ghost of a man who died at sea. When the storms are raging, they say you can see him. My wife tells the story better.
Try.
The Draugr are the doomed souls of the water. Sailors forced to walk the floor of the ocean as ghosts of a forgotten crew. If a living sailor sees one, he must race it back to shore or face being turned into one of those screaming monsters himself. There is one story of a man who escaped the Draugen onto land, but continued to be pursued. He ran to the churchyard near his home and called on the spirits of the dead to rise up and help him. What happened to the man is a mystery. But when the townsfolk arrived at their church the next day, the yard was covered in seaweed, and the church roof had been torn open.
Not a very happy ending. I can see why you wouldn't tell a child.
And yet, it was Lily's favorite story, and I loved telling it. But her story was much different to mine. One night, a sailor encounters the creature just as so many have before. The Draugen lets out a deafening scream that can be heard across the seas. But the sailor is old and experienced, and he has heard these legends before. Yet, as wise as he seemed, he does not make a run for land. Instead, he heads further out to sea. The Draugen chases him deeper and deeper into the water, clawing after the ship. They followed it. And yet, the sailor goes further out, hurrying just faster than the monster. Suddenly, the sailor drops his anchor and the boat comes to a stop. The looming Draugen stoops down to look at the sailor. He reaches down beneath the ship and rips up the ocean floor. With him, he brings up a shipwreck. The Draugen stared deeply at the wreck and the mess of wood, then looked up to the sailor. The Draugen turns aside and sinks beneath the waters, carrying his beloved vessel. His ghost has returned to his old crew, and he has been freed. Like I said, Anna told it better. Mulses are a threat, a warning of something horrible that has happened before and should be avoided.
But Anna didn't see it that way, did she?
To my Anna, they were a lesson on how to face up to mistakes and to try again, having learned from the past.
You could have learned from that yourself.
That was different. This is no place to raise a child. How can anyone even begin to suggest bringing another child into the world which will only repeat the same fate over and over again? Anna was a fool, and she was naive. And I was not going to put her through that again, nor put myself through it again. I really think you should leave this time.
You haven't finished telling me the story.
No more stories. They are for naive children and fools who cannot understand how to move on with their life.
If that's the case, you've even more reason to tell me! Tell me Anna's story. Then I will leave.
She dies. The end.
Properly.
Inte igen. One day, Lily ran out into the snow, chasing nothing, just like a child does. I chased after her once we knew she was gone. I returned to my house, carrying my daughter in my arms. Anna was strong, but this was too much. One day, she walked out into the cold, never to return.
I have a question for you.
You seem full of those.
When your wife asked if you don't like people, what did you say?
I said, der enda människorna jag vill vara runt du och vår lilla flicka. I'm sorry, Anna.
You must think this world is a nightmare. Like every decision you've ever made has been leading up to this point where you're nearly destroying yourself, but it's just not true. Stories help us to learn from our mistakes, to take lessons from those in the past. The monsters in them are simply us and our inability to face up to our problems. Anna was right. But you can tell her yourself.
Anna?